So, have you ever wondered what happens when a pathological cavity develops inside the jaw and gets filled with fluid or some other content? And one more important question, is every cyst actually lined by an epithelium? If you know the answer, then great. And if you don't, then don't worry. In today's lectures, we are going to understand cyst and the classification of the odontogenic cyst in a very simple way. So, let's start. So, now first we see the definition of the cyst. So here a cyst is defined as a pathological cavity having fluid or semilunar or gaseous content which has not been created by the accumulation of the pus. So let's break this sentence down. So here a cyst is basically a pathological cavity. That means it is an abnormal cavity which is formed because of a disease process, and inside this cavity there may be fluid, semilunar content or the gaseous content. And here comes an important point. A cyst is not a cavity which is formed because of the pus accumulation. So don't confuse a cyst with an abscess. So if a cavity is formed because of the accumulation of the pus, so can we call it as a cyst? The answer is no, because according to this, the cavity of a cyst is not created by the accumulation of the pus. Okay, so a cyst is frequently but not always lined by an epithelium. So this point is very important because it helps to understand the difference between a true cyst and a pseudo cyst. Okay. Now we see the parts of a cyst. So here a cyst has three important parts, that is the cystic lumen, the cystic lining, and the third one is capsule. So cystic lumen, so this is the central cavity of a cyst. This is where a cystic content are present like fluid, semilunar or the gaseous content. Okay. Now, the cystic lining, so this is lining which is present around the lumen. In a true cyst, this lining is made up of the epithelium. Okay. Now, the third one is capsule. So, the capsule is the outer connecting tissue component which is surrounding the cyst. So, this is surrounding the cyst. So, remember it like this, like lumen to lining, then lining to capsule. So, think from inside to outside. Okay. I hope now you understand the definition of a cyst. Now I will tell the difference between the cyst and the abscesses. Okay. The cyst and the abscesses. So, cyst having a well-defined border. A cyst is having a well-defined border. By the abscesses, it having a ill-defined border. It look like this. Okay. It is contain either gaseous or the semilunar or the fluid. Okay. But in abscesses, there is an accumulation of the pus. Okay. Accumulation of the pus. I hope now you understand the cyst and the abscesses difference. Okay. Now comes a very important classification. So we can broadly divide cyst into two. That is the true cyst and the pseudo cyst. So let's understand the difference. So here, a true cyst is a cyst which is lined by an epithelium. So example of a true cyst like dentigerous cyst, odontogenic keratocyst and the radicular cyst. Okay. So if I tell you that a cyst has an epithelium lining, so what will you call it? That is the true cyst. Okay. Now here the pseudo cyst. So here pseudo cyst, it is not lined by an epithelium. So example of a pseudo cyst are mucocele, aneurysm bone cyst and the solitary bone cyst. So the easiest way to remember is here the true cyst means epithelium lining is present. Okay. Here the epithelium lining is present. While the pseudo cyst means epithelium lining is absent. Okay. Now let's move to the classification. So here it divided the cyst into the epithelium, that is a true cyst, and the non-epithelium, that is a false cyst. So under the non-epithelium or the false cyst category, so here the examples are like atraumatic bone cyst and the aneurysm bone cyst. So it also shows the other groups such as cyst which is associated with the maxillary antrum and the soft tissue. So while studying the classification, don't try to memorize everything randomly. Instead, first understand the main division. That is a cyst which is dividing into two. That is the epithelium. It means the true cyst, or the non-epithelium, that is the false cyst. Okay. So under the maxillary antrum, so example of cyst like benign mucosal cyst of the maxillary antrum, or you can say surgical ciliated cyst. In soft tissue, the cysts are dermoid, epidermoid, salivary gland cyst, and the thyroglossal duct cyst. Okay. Now let comes to the main, that is the epithelium or the true cyst. So now let go one step deeper. So here the epithelium or the true cyst can be classified according to their development or the inflammatory origin. So here developmental cyst means these develop during the development. Okay. And the inflammatory cyst means the inflammatory cyst which is the cyst which is developing due to the inflammation. So it is divided into two, that is a radicular cyst and the residual cyst. So if a cyst develops due to an inflammatory process associated with the tooth, which category should you think of? Yes, that is the inflammatory cyst. Okay. Now here the developmental cyst, it is divided into two again, that is the odontogenic and the non-odontogenic teeth. So here another way of understanding these cysts is according to whether they are related to teeth or not related to the teeth. Okay. So odonto means here tooth. So odontogenic cysts are related to the tissue which is involved in the tooth development. Okay. So they are the primordial cyst, dentigerous cyst, eruption cyst, lateral periodontal cyst, gingival cyst. So these are coming under the odontogenic cyst. Okay. So what does the word odontogenic remind you of? Yes, the answer is tooth. Excellent. Now here the non-odontogenic cyst means they are not derived from the tooth related tissue. Okay, so they are like nasopalatal cyst, nasolabial cyst, median alveolar cyst, median palatal cyst, globular maxillary cyst. Now this is very important, the classification of the odontogenic cyst according to the Shafer. Okay, so you have to always write in exam this classification. You have to mention it. Okay, so in etiology, it was again divided into two, that is the development or the inflammatory, that is later. So in developmental group, it includes the primordial cyst, dentigerous cyst, eruption cyst, lateral periodontal cyst, and the gingival cyst. I already explained what is the development. Developmental means this is which is developed during the development. Okay, and the inflammatory means the cyst which is developed during an inflammatory process. So these are the radicular cyst and the residual cyst. Okay, so this is the etiology. Now next we see the tissue of the origin. So this help understand where the epithelium cell responsible for the cyst originate from. Okay, so first one is cell rest of Malassez. So here the cyst which is associated, which is derived from the cell rest of Malassez are the radicular cyst and the residual cyst. So always remember. Okay. Now the second one is residual enamel epithelium. So here the dentigerous cyst, eruption cyst. Okay. So when you see the name enamel epithelium, then think about the cyst arising from the tooth development related epithelium remnants. Okay. Now the third one is cell rest of Serre. So here this is another odontogenic epithelium remnant which is involved in the origin of the odontogenic cyst. So here the example are like OKC, gingival cyst, glandular odontogenic cyst. Okay. So quick revision, let's check your memory. So for question number 1, which cyst is lined by an epithelium? Yes, the answer is true cyst. Question number 2, does a pseudocyst have an epithelium lining? The answer is no. Question number 3, name 2 inflammatory odontogenic cysts. The answer is radicular cyst and the residual cyst. Question number 4. What are the two broad groups in Shafer classification? That is the developmental and the inflammatory. Question number 5. Which cell rests are associated with the radicular and the residual cyst? The answer is cell rest of Malassez. Okay. So now student, look carefully at this diagram. So this is very useful diagram because it shows differences according to their location in the oral and the jaw region. So let's identify them one by one. Okay, first at the soft tissue near the tooth, we can see the gingival cyst. So next near an erupting tooth, we have an eruption cyst. Now look at the cyst which is surrounding the crown of an unerupted teeth. So this is the dentigerous cyst. So remember this very important relationship, that is a dentigerous cyst, it is associated with the crown of an unerupted tooth. Now look at the large lesion in the posterior mandible. So this represents an odontogenic keratocyst. Next, look between the roots of the tooth. Here we can see lateral periodontal cyst. Now look at the lesion which is remaining in the bone after the associated tooth has been removed. So this is the residual cyst. And finally look around the root of a tooth. This is the radicular cyst. Okay. Question for you. If I show you a cyst around the root of a tooth, so what will you answer? Yes, that is a radicular cyst. And if I show you a cyst around the crown of an unerupted tooth, the answer is dentigerous cyst. So student, the relationship of a cyst with a tooth is a very important clue. Okay. Now student, let's understand this diagram of a cyst of a oral cavity in the maxilla. So this is very useful diagram because instead of learning the cyst only by their names, we can identify by their location. So first at the upper posterior region, we can see mucus retention cyst. And now comes the tooth root region. Here we can see the radicular cyst. Remember, the important clue is the relationship with the tooth root. Now question, if you see a cyst which is associated with the root of a tooth, so which cyst comes to your mind? Yes, that is the radicular cyst. Now next, in the anterior midline region of the maxilla, we can see the incisive canal cyst. Okay. So the name itself gives us the location, that is the incisive canal. And now look at this mandibular diagram, and I want you to identify these lesions by looking at their relationship with the tooth and the surrounding one. So let's go one by one. So what is this? It is located between the root of a tooth rather than directly at the apex. So here the important clue is that is the lateral location between the root. So this is a type of location that should make you think about a lateral periodontal cyst. Okay. Now look at the number 2. Here we can see unerupted tooth within a cystic lesion. So this is an important visual clue. So when you see a cyst which is surrounding the crown of an unerupted tooth, then think about dentigerous cyst. Don't memorize the picture alone. Remember the relationship, that is a cyst plus crown of unerupted tooth. It means the dentigerous cyst. Okay. Now look at the number 3. So this is a large expansile lesion in the posterior mandible which is extending towards the ramus. Now here the important point for the diagram is it the posterior mandibular location and the large extent. So when discussing this picture, then focus on the location and the appearance rather than try to identify it only from the number. So what is this? This is the odontogenic keratosis. Okay. Now finally look at the number 4. So this lesion is located around the root apical region of the tooth. So what should immediately comes to your mind? Yes, that is the radicular cyst. So remember here the radicular cyst is present at the root and the apical region. Okay. So before we finish, let's test ourselves. So if the lesion is around the root apex, then what we call radicular cyst. And if it is around the crown of an unerupted tooth, the answer is dentigerous cyst. If it is between the root, the answer is lateral periodontal cyst. And if it is associated with an erupted tooth, the answer is eruption cyst. If it is near the incisive canal, the answer is incisive canal cyst. If it is remain after the extraction of a tooth, the answer is residual cyst. Perfect. And student, this is exactly how you should study these diagrams for the BDS exam. Don't memorize the picture blindly. Look at the location and the tooth relationship and then identify the cyst. Okay. So that is for today's lecture. If you found this diagram based explanation useful, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Exam Key Point Dentistry. I will see you in the next BDS lecture. Until then, keep studying, keep learning and keep revising.